Welcome to another episode of Nerds with Badges. Today on my show I have two special guests. And they're not people, but I wanted to get I wanted to get another controller for my Xbox, and I did end up getting a red controller, but I ended up keeping that for my for my laptop that I'm using right now to do this video, which I can't find right now. This is the one that I got for my Xbox, my Xbox Series. This is a newer model one that just came out. Yeah, I actually thought it had RGB lights, but it does not. You know, you think for like $70, $75 I think it was with tax you would get, but I mean I guess I'm paying for the clear red case. But my Xbox Series S controller that I have at home sometimes disconnects, and I don't know what's up with that, so I want to get a replacement. But I think the problem is the cord. It only seems to do it with certain games. I haven't really been able to figure that out yet. But anyway, I think these are like generic controllers. This just came in like a regular brown cardboard box, and there was like no name on the box, oh yeah, here are the instructions. And it says dongle receiver, but I didn't get a dongle receiver with this controller. All it came with was a wire, so I don't know. It's not that I would ever probably use a dongle, but I did get a dongle with this baby, and basically you plugged it in and it just gives you it has like a USB, I guess. Yeah, you get why they do that, maybe it's a better signal than Bluetooth or something. And then you get the cord, and no batteries. I always think it's really cool when you get the option to do batteries if you want, and the rechargeable batteries, but the cord will work until eventually the battery that is inside of the controller is going to just die, and you're just going to have to use the cord. So at least you have that, and you don't have to spend money if you just want to use the cord. But at some point the wireless function won't work anymore because the battery inside will be dead. So I guess you could actually open it up, as there's screws. Looks pretty easy to open up, and they recess it so far down inside. But yeah, most people are probably just going to replace it. Same with this one. You can actually open up, and I guess you can take a battery out and exchange it if it ever dies. And it's got these things on it, I guess, so that it doesn't get damaged when it's inside the box. It's a good idea. I don't know if these are Hall controllers or not. The Hall controllers are like the ones that basically you will never get controller drift, which was an issue with the Nintendo Switch. And I have had drift happen with Xbox 360 controllers, PlayStation 3 controllers, and it happened with my PlayStation. Actually, the first PlayStation 5 controller that I got with my system eventually got drift in it, so I just stopped using it, and I bought a replacement black one because this came with the standard black and white controller. I think it was a black and white or black and gray controller for the PlayStation 5. So yeah, so now I guess the companies are moving more towards using Hall sensor, and I think these may be Hall sensor controls. I hope so. But you can actually open a lot of these things up now. It's a lot easier to open the controllers up and replace the batteries now, than it used to be, like, really difficult years ago. But I guess companies are starting to, maybe some of the CEOs are actually gamers, and they're like, you know what, I'm tired of having to like buy new controllers. And maybe enough people complained about it, and they finally started listening. I know that some laws have been passed in other countries now for phones, where they have to make the phones where you can actually open it up and change the battery. You know, I remember I used to have my older phone, even the PlayStation PSP, you could take the battery out and exchange it if you needed to. So yeah, I got 2 new controllers, so I'm gonna probably use this one. Hope that it doesn't need a dongle. I mean, I guess it doesn't, it's got the cord. And this one I may just keep as a spare. Maybe that'll be like the controller I keep for travel or something. Trying to like get everything organized. I want to have a system, a laptop that I just specifically take with me on trips, and that was what I was really planning to get. This, my new gigabyte laptop, that was the idea, that I would just use it for trips primarily. But you know, you spend $1,000 for something, you know, you're gonna, and you know, it's really nice being able to play games on really high settings without problems. So yeah, so this will be like my weekend machine, and I'll probably take it on trips. It's not as big as my other gaming laptop, my MSI gaming laptop, which I've had for about 6 years now, I think. That thing had like a 17-inch screen, but you know, it was good. I mean, it's good, but I can play Resident Evil 4 on it. But when I try to play like Hogwarts Academy, was it Hogwarts Legacy, Callisto Protocol, a lot of the higher end games, I mean like Banishers, Baldur's Gate, runs like shit on that thing. Almost knocked my coffee over. I gotta move this coffee away. I was doing an episode of one of my podcasts probably a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, and I went I just knocked my coffee like all over the desk, and it was really it was a good video, and I just was like, oh my god. But I spent like half an hour, and I spent half an hour cleaning up, and I barely finished just in time to start my shift. And I'm just so glad nobody walked by and saw. It's because coffee was like everywhere. I mean, it went everywhere, all inside my keyboard and everything. And thankfully none got down inside, damaged anything. But yeah, bad memories. I saw the trailer for The Last of Us Season 2. I'm not sure if that's on HBO or Showtime. I got Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Disney Plus, HBO, well, Max now. I have Crunchyroll, and I have, of course, PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live, Nintendo Switch, Google Play. I use that. I don't really use the Google Play app that much. They really need to have a better selection of games on the service, but it's not expensive. I think it's like maybe $10 a month. But I bought a Razer Edge, and I really wanted to get more into like Android gaming, so I need to start taking advantage of it. But I mean, man, I have so many services, and I made a promise to myself I was going to cut some of the stuff. You know, it just adds up after a while. But there are certain shows that you want to watch, and it's like you can't watch them at, you know, like certain shows are here, and then, you know, that I heard that Godzilla's the Monarch show is coming back on Apple. So I know some people, they just either you know, share with family members or something, or they just cancel when the show is over that they want to watch. And man, and sometimes you do these trial memberships and you forget. It just gets to be a bit much. trying to keep up with all these shows too. So I guess you could just buy the Blu-ray eventually. I think that I would like to get rid of everything except for Netflix. Amazon comes in handy because of the all the things that you get with the Prime. You get the music, the basic music service. You get a lot of free books you can read, and then you get the TV shows and the free delivery and stuff. Hulu gets some of the stuff that Disney Plus gets. It's just so enticing being able to watch shows, but it just gets overwhelming when you have so much, man. And I don't know. I don't know if I have. I don't know. I can't remember if The Last of Us is on Max or HBO, Max or Showtime. But I think I finished watching season 1, and it's really sad. I did play the game. I didn't get very far, the very first game, and I know that they did a remaster, I guess, or a remake of it. Can't keep track. Sony does a lot of these remakes of their games, and they did a part 2, which was controversial because of some LGBT stuff. I guess people did like. I don't know. I really don't know. I try to stay away from spoilers. I know there was something going on in the game that people didn't like. A certain vocal minority, or that would go online and review bomb stuff, like as an army, which is incredible. I have not played The Last of Us 2 at all because I don't want to, I don't want to get any spoilers for anything that happened in the first game. I'm so behind. I really am. There's a lot of games that came out, good games, that I actually started playing and I didn't finish because I'll be playing something and then something else comes out. So there's that too. So there are definitely advantages to just sticking with one platform. And I think going forward, what I want to do is just really be more into PC gaming. I will probably get a Switch 2 at some point. I'm not going to rush out to get one. I will probably wait until next year to get one because I know it's probably going to be hard to get one right now when it comes out, whether it comes out in June or around the holidays. I know that Nintendo's doing something next month where they're going to do like a more full presentation where they're going to talk about the system and its specs and things, because they've given us like a little teaser of it. We don't really know what games are coming. I mean, that in the little preview they did, we saw Mario Kart, and it looked like 16 people were playing, or maybe more than 16 people were playing, which is going to be interesting. I got to get back to playing Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. I guess they're adding some new characters, if I'm not mistaken, which is incredible. And the Switch came out 8 years, man. It's been 8 years now, and that system has sold very well. They are doing the physical media, which I like. I don't like that a lot of games are going digital only, and I don't like the fact that the digital games are the same price as the physical ones, which doesn't make any sense because you're not getting a box, you're not getting artwork, you're just getting a code, which gives you, really can be taken away at any time. So if anything, they really should make the digital games cheaper. If a physical game is $70, then a digital game should be maybe $55 or $60. So we'll see what happens. I know that the industry has changed a lot. I mean, Microsoft is going off in a whole nother direction, becoming more into multi-platform, and I actually need to play Lies of P because it's leaving Game Pass on the 15th. So today's the 9th. So I got a few days. I won't finish it, I'm sure, but I want to definitely play more. I spent some time with Lies of P. It's basically the Pinocchio, a more modern version of the Pinocchio story. I've always been fascinated with Pinocchio. And if you haven't seen it, there was a couple of new Pinocchio movies that came out. I think Guillermo del Toro did one, and he's one of my favorite directors. He's up there. I mean, there's my top 3 directors: Spielberg, and I got, who is the other one? Spielberg, and damn, there's another person. My brain is just like I had a brain fart. There's another. I have like 3. Oh, Peter Jackson, Spielberg, and Guillermo del Toro. I like everything that he's done. From the vampire stuff that he did with Blade 2, and then he did the show, The Strain. He's definitely got a thing with vampires, because the very first film he ever did was about a vampire. So it's really cool to see him going back. These flies always find me. In this entire building, there's always a one fly, and he will find where I am and just bug me. So anyway, I just really wanted to do a little video about these 2 controllers that I got. So I'm going to try them out. I like this one because it's got RGB lights in it. Actually, let me see how it looks. This one does not have any RGB. That's the thing now, stuff that lights up. Yeah, let's see what these things look like. And this, you think for $1,000 you get more USB plugs. I only have 2 USB-A plugs on this thing, so I need to get a splitter. I actually have a couple of them around somewhere. Let's see. I think this thing was like, $50, I think it was. Okay, I accidentally pressed something on the back. The home button is blinking for some reason. What's going on with that? I don't know why it would be blinking. Maybe it's updating software or something. But this is supposed to light up too. Anyway, the home button lights up, so that's something. It's still blinking. I guess it's probably charging. Maybe that's what that's all about. This one does seem to have RGB, and my computer did that ping sound. Looks like this one does have some RGB under the okay, that's pretty cool. It's got RGB on the things, on the controllers. I didn't know that. So I will test these later and give my full grade on how they work. And then it seemed like there was something else that I wanted to talk about, and my brain is just like, I'm barely got up in time to get to work tonight. I tell you, I think this time change just threw me off. I did a interview yesterday morning with my nephew. He lives in Florida, and he's putting out a comic book now. He's working on a comic book. So I wanted to talk about that. So I did a video, and I used my Chromebook, and I've only done maybe 2 videos where I actually talked with other people, interview type of thing. So I had to record the entire screen, and I had windows open, so I want to figure out a way to basically make the screen smaller, and just so I would just get the video and not everything else on the screen. So I got to figure out how to do. I'm sure there's programs to do that. I'm learning a lot about video, and I guess it's better to learn it, because then that way I won't have to pay somebody a gazillion bucks to do it for me. Editing can be challenging, but a lot when you can do things yourself is definitely more rewarding. You learn, and you save money as well. So that is my episode for today, March the 9th, 2025, on Nerds with Badges and my new controller special guests. And I'm going to try them out. I'll upload a video onto YouTube later tonight with some gameplay for Liza P. So I want to see how that runs on this computer too. I've got like 5 or 6 days before it disappears off of Game Pass, and I hate that. I hate that about Netflix too. How some movies will be there and then you go and watch them, they'll just be gone. But I guess that's what happens unless it's something that they produce themselves. So it's going to be there forever. But if it's a licensed movie or TV show or game, it's going to just they're paying them probably hundreds of millions of dollars, I'm sure, for the content. So they're going to just keep it there for a certain amount of time, and then it'll just go to whoever else's streaming service that wants to pay for it, or their own streaming service. Because Disney took like all their stuff off of Netflix. I was shocked. I thought that the Disney shows, those Marvel shows, would have stayed up there, but now they're on Disney Plus. And oh yeah, speaking of Disney Plus, I watched the first 2 episodes of Daredevil, and I was, not gonna say any spoilers, but I was really shocked. This is a really interesting direction that they're going with the character, and being someone who's read the books, I really was into Daredevil back when there's a storyline where I guess he was going up against Kingpin. And it's interesting because Kingpin was a Spider-Man villain originally, but a lot of people don't really seem to remember that. But Kingpin made Daredevil's life miserable, and Brian Michael Bendis was writing. And Brian Michael Bendis, for those who don't know, he created co-created, but mostly created, I guess, Miles Morales. He created the character Naomi, and he really made Daredevil cool again with his storyline. And he really put a lot of focus on characters like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, and on really on the strength of him, and writing the New Avengers and making putting Luke Cage more in the spotlight. So I thank him for that. But it was his storyline that really got me back reading Daredevil, because I did read some of the old Frank Miller stuff, the old Daredevil stuff. And I remember reading one issue where Daredevil was fighting Captain America. Captain America was basically stoned because he had gotten some drugs that got into his system and mixed with the super soldier serum. And that was a time actually when Captain America had to get his blood basically pumped, purged of the drugs that was making him crazy. And he lost his powers for a while, and he was just kind of like unsure if he could really continue to be Captain America. But yeah, I Daredevil, I thought at some point Daredevil really became it just got so depressing because his character was just going through so much, and I just kind of dropped off. And then I know he became a villain and took over. I think he took over the city, or he took over Hell's Kitchen or something in the comics. But I've got a lot of fond memories of Daredevil. I do like the character, and he was one of my favorite characters to play in as Marvel Imperfects, and I hope that they put him in Marvel Rivals at some point. I mean, I would imagine that eventually, if they said they're gonna support the game for like 10 years, supposedly. I guess if it continues to do well. So we've got almost 40 characters now. So, they're gonna introduce a lot of characters. So I guess Daredevil, being that he's popular now, especially with the show, I was really surprised that Sam Wilson, Captain America, didn't show up. But they did do a little reference to the movie, with some DLC, with no Sam Wilson or Red Hulk, which I remember back in the old days when they would always have crossovers with movies and TV shows. Nobody really does that anymore, which is kind of sad. Hopefully James Gunn will do that with DC. But anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to try to play a little bit of Liza P and enjoy my coffee. I've got 20 minutes before my shift starts, so not a lot of time. I may end up having to wait until my lunch break to play Liza P and eat my chocolate muffin. I'm out of here for now. Thank you for tuning in, and I will be back at some point with the interview that I did with my nephew, and also I will talk about my new comic book that I have. I have a new comic book adaptation of my film that I'm working on now. So I actually have an artist in Nigeria that's working on some artwork for me, because I want to do a comic book version of what I'm filming, and I may try to get a storyboard artist also, because storyboards are really, they're really important to help you set up like what camera angles and how everything is going to look, how everybody's going to stand and all that. It can be expensive though, but the film that I'm doing right now is only going to be about 4 or 5 minutes long. The script is 2 minutes long, 2 pages long, but there's a lot of action and dialogue, so it's going to end up being maybe about 5 or 6 pages by the time the artist is done, because originally I thought it was just going to be 3 pages, and he's like, oh, it's going to be 4 pages. And of course the cover, maybe have some pinup art. I'm definitely got to start going to more conventions and promoting my work, but more on that later. I'm out of here for now. I got 20 minutes, and take care. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and share if you feel so inclined.